I'm Steven Fife from Boise, Idaho. I'm a starting right-handed pitcher. I live a nomadic life, if you will. In Portland, we had host families. I stayed a couple months in Warwick with my girlfriend. She lives down here. She works at Women and Infants Hospital. And then I have a home. I'm from Boise, Idaho, so I have a home out there that I spend about a month to 2 months out. This year I spent about 25 days out there is all I got.
25 days, is it?
A little less than a month, so it's been good though. So
do you live out of hotel rooms a little bit here with your girlfriend and then,
the season just kind of, in Portland we had host families, so we had a consistent home base, and then obviously on the road there's no choice but a hotel.
Yeah.
And then after the season I just stay with my girlfriend at her house down there in Warwick, and at home I stay at my own house. So it's just kind of depending on what the scenario is or who I'm going to see. I mean, I went to Seattle this year to see my family, in Portland as well, and stayed at some friend's house and all that kind of stuff. Trying to stay out of hotels as much as possible.
It doesn't feel like home, right?
Nah, 70 days a year in a hotel is probably enough.
Yeah. Now, how did you get your start in baseball? Could you tell me a little bit about your background?
I started pitching when I was 17. I broke my thumb as a sophomore. I was a corner infielder, and in order to keep my arm loose for that summer and ready, I started throwing in a bullpen. And the coach saw me throwing and essentially said, "You're going to pitch." And I was like, "No, I don't want to pitch." And he said, "No, you're going to pitch." So I started pitching when I was 17. I went to junior college and then on to the University of Utah. I should mention Everett Junior College in the Seattle area for 1 year. I spent 2 years at Utah, and then I kind of had a breakthrough against a pitcher named Steven Strasburg. He was the #1 pick for the Nationals, and it was a Thursday night in San Diego, and we kind of dueled it out, and that was my recognition that kind of put me into the draft. It was 5 weeks before the draft, and I hadn't really been talked too much, so things happened really quickly, and that's how I got my start.
So when you were in high school, you were more interested in football and all of that, right? And then you kind of got involved with the baseball team?
Right. Well, I've played baseball for a real long time. Since I was a little kid, I went to the Little League World Series in '99. But, my first love in high school was football, and some things kind of fell through in that aspect, and I ended up realizing that I had a chance to play baseball, and my goal was just to earn a college degree and hopefully get some of the costs taken out by playing baseball.
So were you able to finish college and then go on to pro, or did you get pulled out?
I got pulled out in my junior year. I got a lot of us in our contracts get school paid for, so at some point I will go back and finish my degree at the University of Utah and be a graduate, not just an attendee.
And so what did it feel like when you got to pitch right out in Fenway Park?
That was an intense day.
Did you get nervous, shaking, or?
Yeah, before the game it was. Being from the West Coast, I'd seen Safeco Field and Pac-Bell Park and Candlestick Park and all that, which is West Coast, but, you watch things like the Red Sox play on TV and you see Fenway Park, and so getting to walk into that stadium and take BP, I got super nervous. Butterflies, I kind of got nauseous for a few minutes. I didn't actually throw up, but it was pretty nerve-wracking, but by the time the game started, I settled down and kind of just realized that it's just a game of baseball, and I think when I pitched, I said there's like some 35,000 people there for it. They had the wave going in the 7th inning, so you could hear the sections of the park that have more people and less people, and it was a really special day.
Do you do better blocking out the surrounding noise, or do you focus, or do you kind of concentrate on that because you get hyped up?
Right, you get better as you go. In college we saw maybe 500-600 fans in a game, and that's really not that hard to block out. And then in Lowell, it was crowds of 3,000 or 4,000, and then last year, all the way up through AA, it was 7,000-8,000. So the noise kind of gets quieter as you go on, and it kind of becomes more of a comforting thing. But straight out of college into a 35,000 person environment was you couldn't help but hear the wave going around and how intense the noise was.